Welcome, and thank you for joining us today for a joint Land Services SA and PEXA webinar on common errors with electronic dealings. This is a pre-recorded session with a live Q&A session at the end of this presentation. We ask you to kindly hold all your questions until the allocated time, where one of our subject matter experts will be able to assist. Land Services SA is committed to providing an excellent customer experience. One way we continue to deliver value to the industry is through our industry education program, where we produce a range of helpful educational materials, hold regular webinars, and host industry events. Our industry education program addresses key topics or frequently asked questions to ensure you remain up to date with contemporary practices. We want to help set you up for success and believe helping with industry education will help reduce the volume of requisitions, meaning a quicker and more seamless experience for your clients. Land Services SA's subject matter experts assist in delivering our industry education program, utilising their years of experience and respected place in the industry. This webinar has been prepared by Natasha Stupel. Natasha is our Registration Training Audit and Workflow Officer. Natasha has over 35 years experience in land titling and has worked on a number of flagship projects such as SALIS, e-conveyancing, residual dealings, and most recently the alignment of paper and electronic panel forms.
Mara Perigotis is the Customer Relationship Lead for South Australia at PEXA, leveraging her strong background in conveyancing and client engagement to support legal and property professionals in the digital settlement space. Working closely with firms across the state, Mara helps to optimise their use of the PEXA platform and is recognised for bridging the technical and practical aspects of digital conveyancing as a trusted industry advisor.
This webinar will cover a range of topics relating to electronic lodgements and aims to address areas of concern and confusion. We hope this information will assist you in the future when preparing documents for lodgement with your electronic lodgement network operator. For consistency and accurate searching of the register, legislated abbreviations will always be used in SALIS. This further enables accurate ownership allocation, the accurate creation of valuation records, and for government reporting for rates and notices. Legislated abbreviations for a company, permissible under Section 149 of the Corporations Act 2001, Commonwealth, used in SALIS are PTY dot for proprietary, LTD dot for limited, CO dot for company, NO dot for number, the ampersand for and ACN for Australian company number. Any other abbreviations, such as those that may be used for Brothers or South Australia, are to be shown exactly as described in the ASIC search that forms part of verification of identity requirements. Where brackets, quotation marks, apostrophes, or other special characters occur in a company name, the same applies and should be entered exactly as registered with ASIC. Legislated abbreviations for an association, as per Section 65 of the Associations in Corporations Act 1985, to be used in SALIS are INC dot for incorporated. For an association, the full legal name should be described as per their verification of identity documents. Abbreviations applicable to companies must not be used. The use of these legislated abbreviations is not an error in the register and cannot be altered by an application to note correction of name or mortgage incorporating a correction of name. Any lodgements of dealings trying to correct the abbreviation will be requisitioned. The legislated abbreviations will be applied automatically upon lodgement in SALIS, no matter how they are described in the PEXA workspace. dealings where the party is disposing of their entire interest, such as discharges of mortgages and withdrawals of caveats, where the company is described as ABC Proprietary Limited, registered as ABC Pty. Ltd. will be accepted for registration. However, no name tie-up is actually required, and under no circumstances should the justification error in register be added, as there is no error in the register. A common error occurring in electronic lodgements is the lodgement of two dealings to correct the same name as regards the same certificate of title. Only one application to note the change or correction of the same name as regards the same certificate of title should be lodged, and lodgements may result in both documents being requisitioned and will require either the full withdrawal of the application to note change of name or the deletion of the change of name component of the mortgage. This error delays registration of the series, creates requisitions, requires refunds to be processed, and creates additional work for both certifiers. Most importantly, it burdens your client with an unnecessary cost for a dealing that is not actually required. A frequently lodged transfer is one from a sole proprietor to themselves and their domestic partner to create a joint tenancy. A common error in the electronic workspace in this type of transfer is the selection of part tenancy, resulting in the estate in interest panel referring to fee simple half share. The outcome of this transfer is not a joint tenancy between the parties as regards the whole of the land. Rather, the transferor retains half and the transferees receive half as joint tenants, which was not the intention of the parties to the transfer. To create a joint tenancy between a sole registered proprietor and another party, such as a domestic partner, as regards the whole of the land, the estate in interest panel should refer to fee simple with no reference to half share. When creating or dealing with a joint tenancy, remember that for a joint tenancy to exist, the four unities must be present. These are the unities of possession, requiring each joint tenant to be entitled contemporaneously with the other tenant to possession of the whole of the land. The unity of interest, requiring each joint tenant's interest to be the same in nature, extent, and duration. The unity of time requires the interest of each joint tenant to have vested at the same time, and the unity of title requires each joint tenant to have acquired his or her title by the same instrument. Land Services SA's website has a wealth of information, guides and tips relating to e-conveyancing on our e-conveyancing webpage. To navigate to this page, click on Land Registration tab at the top of the page and then select the Electronic Conveyancing link under the Electronic Conveyancing heading. Scroll down and you will locate a list of topic links, including a detailed list of dealings that are mandated for electronic lodgement, information and circumstances relating to dealings exempted from electronic lodgement, a downloadable list of residual dealings available for electronic lodgement and their requirements for the ELNO workspace, and a list of all current and previous published e-conveyancing tips of the month. Approximately 92% of non-division dealings are mandated electronic lodgements. When you click on the topic heading of Mandatory Electronic Lodgement of Documents, a list of all mandated dealings identified by prefix and dealing type is available. Also available is the date that the mandate came into effect. Dealings executed prior to the applicable mandate date can be accepted as paper lodgements. Exemptions for mandatory electronic lodgements is available as a downloadable, printable version. Just click on the button at the top of the page. This page firstly describes exemptions that are applicable to all dealing types, such as certain conditions, capacities of minor and pursuant to the Trustee Act 1936, dealings over a Crown lease, moiety or share title, and life and remainder estates. Other general exemptions applicable to all dealing types are lodgements on pickup of unregistered division dealings, unregistered proprietorship dealings, or unregistered dealings issuing a new certificate of title. Reference is included to lodgement of dealings in series with a non-mandated dealing, cross-jurisdictional restrictions, dealings affecting more than 20 certificates of title, and series creating and dealing with the same instrument, such as a lease and underlease of the same lease in series. The second part of the exemptions for electronic lodgements references individual dealing types and constraints that will prevent electronic lodgement of that specific dealing and result in a paper lodgement being required. Paper lodgements of dealings listed on Land Services SA's e-conveyancing exemptions page will not require a PEXA written exemption for paper lodgement. There are two categories of electronic dealings: structured dealings being those dealings that contain set panels and with no variations in the operative clause or nature of application panels. Structured dealings have very strict verification rules, leaving less room for errors in rendering. All structured dealings are mandated electronic lodgements. The second category of dealings are referred to as residual dealings and includes all dealing types that have numerous options and variations. Due to their complex nature, there is more room for user error and therefore require thorough and careful examination. The Residual User Guide has been produced as a tool for industry to aid in the preparation of more complex dealings available for electronic lodgement in South Australia. The user guide can be viewed online or alternatively is available in a downloadable printed version. This document details mandatory and optional requirements for the dealing, including references to applicants, stamp duty and evidentiary requirements as specified for each dealing type. The e-conveyancing tip of the month was introduced by Land Services SA in May 2022 as an aid to addressing current issues or errors relating to electronic lodgements and contains many helpful tips to ensure the accurate completion of the electronic workspace. A new tip of the month is released at the beginning of each month and is viewable on our webpage, together with a list of all previously published e-conveyancing tips of the month.
A subscriber manager is able to update your land registry contact details in PEXA. To do this, navigate to Administrator Tools and from the drop-down box, select Manage Subscriber Details. This panel allows you to control the lodgement and finance contacts for the land registry of each jurisdiction your subscriber is active in. These contacts will receive communications from the land registry if and when required. You can view a list of existing contacts in the first section, and by clicking the action cog next to the relevant contact line, you can either edit or delete the existing contact informations. You are also able to add correspondence to create a new record. Below the existing contacts display, you will see a list of each of your jurisdictions. You will need to select a financial and lodgement correspondence contact for each jurisdiction. The selected contact does not need to be located in that jurisdiction. Alternatively, you can provide an LTO delivery box to enable in-person collection of corrections directly from Land Services SA.
That concludes the recorded webinar section. Thank you for listening. Please remain online for the live Q&A session with our Land Services SA and PEXA subject matter experts.